welcome to my channel Anita Crochets. My name is Anita. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make this very beautiful toe piece. I really have seen it for a long time going around on Pinterest, and recently when I got an order come through for it, I thought I needed to share how I made it, because I made this before. It's only that I made it with the wrong size of yarn, and this time I think I got the second chance to work this once again. Okay, I'm really getting a flu. I am praying and hoping it's not corona, but don't mind about my hoarse voice. That's why I'm really getting a hoarse voice, because of the flu. So let's get started and get to see what materials we need for this project. Okay, first of all, you're going to need a darning needle, a tape measure, okay, and I'm going to be working with a 4.5mm hook. You'll need a pair of scissors, and then I'm going to be working with Robin 100% acrylic. It is 50 grams, so this is size 2, and I'm going to be doubling my strands. I'm just going to be working with these two colors, black and white, because this is the choice that I was given. But a nude shade with white is also okay. You can just go around with any other color, but just make sure white is on the other side, all right? To just give it that sort of like pop, okay? So let's get started. So to start with, I am going to work a knot, and I'll take my hook into the loop. I'm going to chain 21. Okay, once we have 21, you're going to yarn over, count 5 stitches to the back, so literally into the 6th chain stitch is where we are going to work our double crochet. So you work a double crochet, chain 1, skip 3, 1 2 3, into the 4th. We are going to work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in the very same stitch, chain 1, we skip 3 stitches, into the 4th we work 1 double crochet, chain 1, skip 3, 1 2 3, into the 4th you will work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in the very same stitch, then chain 1, skip these 2, and into the very last chain stitch you work a double crochet. So you're going to chain 4 and turn your work, skip 3 stitches, into the next you work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in the very same stitch, chain 1, skip 3 and work a double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip 3 and work 2 double crochets into the next, chain 1, work 2 double crochets into that very same stitch, chain 1, skip 3 and work 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and lastly chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the 4th chain stitch of the 5 that started the previous row. Okay, sorry, of the 4 that started the previous row. Yes, of the 5. So we are going to chain 4 again, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 3 and work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in the very same stitch, chain 1, skip 3, work 1 double crochet, into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 3, work 2 double crochets into the next, and then chain 1, work 2 double crochets in that very same stitch. Lastly, chain 1, skip 3 and work 1 double crochet into the 3rd chain stitch of the 4 that started the previous row. See what we have? So we are going to repeat this until we have a total of 6 rows. Just repeat this whole procedure until you have a total of 6 rows. And that's where I'm going to meet you and show you what to do next. So as you can see, I have my 6 rows complete. And now I'm going to work an increase because I want my hips to have that kind of increase. I just can't work it straight all the way down. So this is what I'll do. This time I'm going to chain 5 instead of 4, okay? So we chain 5, skip 1 and work 1 double crochet into the next stitch, chain 2. Remember here we were chaining 1, so this time we're chaining 2, and then skipping 3 and working 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets into the next stitch, chain 2, skip 3 and then work a double crochet into the next, chain 2, skip 3 and work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, okay, all in that very same stitch. Then you chain 2 and skip 3 and work a double crochet into the 3rd double crochet of the 4 that started the previous row. So you can see we have some kind of increase here. So what we are going to do next is we chain 5 and turn our work, yarn over, skip 4 and work 2 double crochets into the next stitch, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch, chain 2, skip 4 and work 1 double crochet into the next stitch, chain 2, skip 4 and work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch, then chain 2, skip 4 and work 1 double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, okay, chain 1, skip 2 and work 1 double crochet into the 3rd chain stitch of the 5 that started the previous row. So you see that we have that kind of increase, and that's what I want. So I'm just going to work this one more time. We chain 5 and skip 2 and then work a double crochet in here, chain 2, skip 4 and work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch, okay, chain 2, skip 4, work 1 double crochet into the next stitch, chain 2, skip 4, work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets all in that very same stitch, and then lastly we chain 2 and work a double crochet into the third chain stitch of the 5 that started the previous row. So you are going to do this until you get the number of rows that you need for the length that you desire to work. Okay, if you want to know what I personally worked, I have 24 rows in total from top to bottom, so it's up to you whether to make it longer. Why mine is short is because I have like 2 inches that I need to work for my waistband. Okay, so I put that in mind when working the body of this piece. Okay, because this is the body of the skirt, not the waistband. So you need to put in mind that we need about 2 inches for the waistband, or 1.5 inches for our waistband, and then the design at the hem of the skirt. So it is up to you to work either short, a little more short, a few more rows, or you just work with the rows, the number of rows I've given you guys. Okay, so I'm going to meet you once you have that complete, then I can show you how we can attach our next color onto this very same piece. Okay, so also this is the length of my design, sorry, the width of my design. It gives me 3.5 inches. Okay, so if I'm to get 3.5 inches, that means I'll have 7 inches for every two pieces of this. Okay, and then 7 and 7, that gives me 14. Okay, so if we say 14, then our waistline is going to be 28, but it's going to be 28 keeping in mind that when stretched it can actually go further than this. Okay, so that's what I want you guys to also have when you're making this design. Please make sure that when you add up the pieces that you need to work, because these pieces have to be an even number. If you make an odd number with these pieces, you will find that at the end of it, white started and you're still ending up with white, yet I want you to end up with a different color so it can like correspond with the whole pattern that we are following. Okay, so measure this. If for you it doesn't make sense when you double them and double them and double them, then you can maybe make changes with the design, either make the design go a little further. You can just count the stitches from here up to here and understand how many to add further. Okay, but also I suggest if you're working this for a size large, it's better you work with the chunky yarn, which is 100 grams. It will give you that sort of thickness that you need, and also you won't have to work so many rows to attain the length that would fit a size large. So just changing the yarn size would be great. Okay, so let me just come back and show you how to attach the next color, and then we can move on from that. So I have been attaching these pieces, and this is where I am so far. So I'm just going to show you from here going forward, so you can also know how I've been working this. So here we are, this is where I ended. I have 24 rows from the top here up to here. I have 24 rows. So I'm going to get my color black. So I take my hook into the loop and I'll get my next color. Yes, so right here I'll work a chain and then get back here and just secure my ends. So once I do that, I'm going to chain 2 more and into this first so I'm going to be working along these double crochet posts. So into this first double crochet post I'll work 1 single crochet, then chain 3, work a single crochet into the next double crochet post, chain 3, work a single crochet into the next post, and I'm going to do this until I get all the way up to the last post. Okay, just like that. Also, I forgot to mention that here we have 3 chains, so that 2 of the chains act as a half double crochet stitch and 1 is for the chain gap. Okay, so here we continue with this until we get all the way up. That's why I'm going to meet you guys and then show you what to do. So once there, this is what you will do. Into the very last double crochet post, we shall work a single crochet and then chain 1, work a half double crochet post into the second chain stitch of the 5 that started the previous row. Okay, so here we are going to chain 20. 1 2 3 19 20. So we shall turn our work. So literally I have gotten from the bottom all the way up to the top. So here into the 6th chain stitch from the hook we are going to work a double crochet. So we count 1 2 3 4 5. Into the 6th we work a double crochet and then chain 1, skip 3, 1 2 3. Into the 4th we work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, oh sorry, yes, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in the very same stitch. I'm really having a hoarse voice. So yes, we skip 4, 1 2 3, sorry, we skip 3, 1 2 3, and into the 4th we work 1 double crochet, chain 1, skip 3, 1 2 3, and into the 4th we work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch. So if you see clearly, this is what we have been doing all along. Now once you have this, you have to be working your last double crochet, but then I want this to act as my double crochet, so I'm going to work a slip stitch into the 2nd chain stitch from the hook. That means when I work this row will look like this one, and they both will be ending right there, and that's what I want, because I want my rows to look the same, like to look alike. Okay, so in there, into the 2nd chain gap we work, we chain 1 and then work a slip stitch into the 2nd chain gap. Okay, so here we chain 2 and work a slip stitch into the next chain gap, chain 1 and turn your work, yarn over, skip 3 stitches and then work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch, chain 1, skip 3 and work 1 double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 3, work a double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip 3, chain 1, work 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch, chain 1, skip 3, work 1 double crochet, and lastly chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the 3rd chain stitch of the 4 that started the previous row. So we chain 4, skip 1 and work a double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 3, work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch, chain 1, skip 3, work 1 double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 3, work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch. So once here we chain 1, and this is what we do. We get into the next chain gap right there and work a slip stitch. Okay, and then chain 2, work a slip stitch into the next chain gap, and then turn your work, chain 1. Okay, so you can see that we are literally attaching this onto this. You see that? Okay, so now here we shall skip 3 and work a double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch. And then chain 1, work a double crochet, skip 3, work a double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 3, work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch. Chain 1, skip 3, work 1 double crochet in the next, and then chain 1, skip 1, work 1 double crochet into the 3rd chain stitch of the 4 that started the previous row. So you guys are going to do this until you have a total of 6 rows, because before we worked an increase, we worked 6 rows. So I want you guys to work this for the next 2 rows. And from there, I'm going to get back and show you how to work the increase. So guys, as you can see, this is what I have, and I have 6 rows now. So I'm going to start working my increase. Here I'm going to chain 5 and then work a skip 1, work a double crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, skip 3 and work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch, chain 2, skip 2, skip 3 and work 1 double crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, skip 3, work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in the very same stitch, chain 1, skip 3 and work a slip stitch into the next chain gap, then chain 2, work a slip stitch into the next chain gap, chain 2 and turn your work, skip 4 and work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch, chain 2, skip 4 and work 1 double crochet into the next stitch, chain 2, skip 4, work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in the very same stitch, chain 2, skip 4 and work 1 double crochet, chain 2, skip 2 and work 1 double crochet into the 3rd chain stitch of the 5 that started the previous row. So guys, I think I've showed you how to work your increase and also attach it on this side. I feel like I am confident enough that you guys can just get onto this and just continue with this piece the way it has to. So continue doing that. The only difference now is we are working two chains between each, you know. So work this until you have the same length, the same number of rows as your previous piece. So I'm going to meet you there once you have that, and just show you how to end your row right here, and then I will let you guys work the entire project on your own. So this is how you work your last row. You will chain 2 and work a slip stitch into the 2nd chain stitch of the 3 that started the row. Okay, then chain 2, turn your work, skip 4 and work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets into the next stitch, chain 2, skip 4 and work 1 double crochet, chain 2, skip 4, work 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, all in the very same stitch, chain 2, skip 4, work 1 double crochet, and then chain 2, skip 2, work 1 double crochet into the third chain stitch of the 5 that started the previous row. So for me, I have 8 pieces all together. Okay, now I want to join them, and this is what I'll do. So literally you'll just do this until you come to the end of your row, just like I did, and then continue with the whole same process, attaching the next color and the next color until you have all the pieces you need for the size you are working for. Once you have that, you are going to turn your work in out, and now get your hook, insert your hook into the second chain stitch of the 5 that started that row, the very last row of your first piece, and pull through yarn and then work a chain. Okay, so here I am going to chain 2 and work 1 single crochet in the middle of these 2 double crochet posts. So I'm going to be working in between the double crochet posts. Okay, so we chain 3 and insert our hook into the next double crochet posts, just like that. You chain 3, insert your hook in there, chain 3, insert your hook in there, and do this until you get at the top of your work. So this is going to give us that attachment, see that, and it won't show at all. Okay, so just do this until you get to the top right here. That's where I'm going to meet you and then show you what to do next. So here, when you get to the very last chain gap, you will chain 1, insert your hook into the very last chain stitch in which you worked your first stitch, and on this side you will insert your hook into the second chain stitch of the 5 that started the first row, and then work a single crochet. So I'll just pull this just to show you how my work looks like. So basically this is it. Okay, so this is my top, the upper bit of it, and this is what I'll do. From here I'm going to be working single crochets. So chain 1 into the very first stitch, you work a single crochet. Remember here I skipped 1, so we work 1 single crochet in there and then 1 single crochet into that stitch. Okay, here I skipped 3, so we shall work 3 single crochets in there, and then into this stitch we work 1 single crochet, 3 single crochets in there, and then 1 single crochet. In here we work 3 single crochets, and then 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and into this chain gap we work 3 single crochets, 1 single crochet into this stitch. Then we cross over to the next. Okay, we work 1 single crochet into that stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the gap, 1 single crochet in that stitch, and then 3 single crochets into that gap. So just work your single crochets following the number of stitches you skipped. Work this all the way around. So let me just take you through this quick. Once you work all your single crochets all the way around, you get back to the very first stitch and then work a slip stitch. So as you can see, I have finished working my slip stitch, and I'll chain 2 into that very first stitch. I'm going to work a double crochet and continue working 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way around. just like that. So I'm going to let you guys go all the way around with one double crochet, and once you have come to the end of your row, you will work a slip stitch. Okay, you'll work a slip stitch, chain 2, turn your work one double crochet still into every stitch. So you will do that for a total of 4 rows. I believe that will be very a very good length for our waistband. So I'm now just going to fast forward and get to working the hem of the skirt. So even for my hem, I am just going to find a point where I can start from. Let me just start midway. Please start from where I have started from, because I have a reason as to why I've chosen this. So start from in between this and this, just here. Okay? Okay. So here I'll chain 1, and I'm just going to work single crochets just like I did for my waist. So I'm not going to take long on this. Just make sure you try to weave these within. Just try as hard as you can. So because I don't want my work to like look very, I don't know, I'm not going to work the very same number of single crochets as my chains. Instead, I am going to try and work 1 single crochet into the chain gap where I had 2 chains. Okay, and then onto this I'll work 4 single crochets into the chain gaps. I'll just work 1 single crochet, not 2 single crochets, because I just want my work to be a little more together rather than having, I don't know how to explain that, but if you try to work 2 single crochets into following literally how many stitches we skipped and all that, you will see how your work will turn out. So I'm just trying to put it a little bit more together so that my edge, the hem of my skirt is fitting, not a little bit loose because of the number of stitches I had to work at the hem. So yes, literally just work 1 single crochet into every stitch, and working 1 single crochet into the chain gaps where we had 2 chains. Okay, until you come to the end of it, and once at the end of it, that's where I'm going to meet you and then show you how to work your hem. So this is it. I've come to the end of my row and also worked a slip stitch. So I'm going to chain 12, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So into the second chain stitch from the hook, I'll work a single crochet and yarn over, work 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, and I'll work a slip stitch into the next stitch, and then work a slip stitch once again in the next, and into the next I'll work 1 single crochet. Okay, and then work 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, and then I'll work a slip stitch into the next stitch. So you see what I have. Okay, slip stitch in there and the slip stitch in there, and then I'll chain 1, skip this, and into this I'll work a slip stitch just like that. So from here I'm going to work 1 single crochet into all the stitches until I cross over to here. Okay, the first chain to towards the 1 double crochet. So let me just do that super fast. And there we go. So once again, I'm going to chain 12, 1 2 3 11 12. Into the second chain stitch from the hook, I'll work a single crochet and then 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches and 2 slip stitches into the next 2 stitches. Oh, sorry, 3 slip stitches into the next 3 stitches, just like that. 1 single crochet in the next, and then 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches. A slip stitch into the next, and then chain 1. Work a slip stitch into that. See what we have. I'm just going to repeat this one more time. Work single crochets until you get to this right here, the chain gap towards the 1 double crochet. Okay, there we are. Okay, let me just stop here so that I will work a slip stitch in here after I work this. So chain 12, 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. 1 single crochet into the second chain stitch from the hook, then 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, 3 slip stitches into the next 3 stitches, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, and lastly 1 slip stitch. Okay, so here you chain 1 and into the next stitch you work a slip stitch, just like that. Okay, see what we have. So I want you guys to go ahead and do this. Work your single crochets. Now here we are going to work our single crochets up until the first chain gap towards the 1 double crochet. Yeah, right here. Okay, and then we shall do this. So do that. Your next should be here, and your next should be here, and your next should be here, and your next should be. So just do this alternatively until you come to the end of your row right here, and there you'll work a slip stitch into this chain stitch. So that's where I'm going to meet you and then show you how to work the next row of these. So I finished working all the way around and I've come to the end of my row, so I'll just get my pair of scissors and cut that, secure your end and weave it in. This is how my work looks like. So I'm going to get into the tip of this and get my white yarn, pull it through. So I am going to work 16 chains, 1 2 14 15 16. So into the second chain stitch from the hook I'll work a single crochet and then work 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, 3 slip stitches into the next 3 stitches, and then 1 single crochet into the next stitch, 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, 2 slip stitches, 1 2 3 4. Okay, no, 1 slip stitch into the next stitch, and here I'll work 5 chains, 1 2 3 4 5, and I'll get hold of my next my next I don't know how to call this, but whichever. So just get hold of the next one and work a single crochet in there. See what we are creating. Okay, so once again you chain 16, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. Into the second chain stitch from the hook, you work a single crochet, 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, 3 slip stitches into the next 3 stitches, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, and then 1 slip stitch. Chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5. Grab your next and work a single crochet into the tip. So literally this is what we are going to do. Okay, this is what we are going to do for the next for the whole of this row. Okay, and once you are done, let me just repeat this one more time. Chain 16, 1 2 3 4 13 14 15 16. 1 single crochet into the second chain stitch from the hook, 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, 3 slip stitches into the next 3 stitches. Okay, yeah, so and then 1 single crochet into the next stitch, 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, and 1 slip stitch. So you just have to make sure that you have 5 chains here. Now chain 5 and get into the next at the top or the peak of it and work a single crochet. So do this all through, okay, all the way around, and get back to the first one here and work a slip stitch into the first chain stitch. Okay, so once again you'll cut your yarn and weave in your ends, grab your next yarn, get on the top of this at the peak of this, and do the very exact thing for your next row. So you can go ahead and work as many rows as you possibly would love to work. Okay, I'm just going to work one more row of these and that will mark the end of my skirt. So literally guys, I'm just going to get back with a visual of how my skirt looks like and how much it's really fitting. I want to thank you all for watching. I have a Facebook group that is Neta Crochets Community that you guys can all go and like, share, and definitely join. Share anything you would love me to hop onto and get to recreate, or anything that you have worked on your own that has been inspired by my designs. That would be very, very great to see, and I'm looking forward to see all your recreations of my projects. Please, you can get the written pattern for this skirt and the top coming soon on my Etsy and Ravelry stores. I will be sharing the link in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.